back at it again. I'm coming up to a very important milestone here in the car build, and that milestone is finally ready to get my racing license. And part of that process is actually being able to attend an actual race event with the vehicle. As you can see, I'm sitting here in the door sill, and there aren't any bars going across here yet. And so we still have to get these bars done, weld it in. So that's going to be done this week. So I got another bar here. I go across the dash. That'll be done as well. I pick up that bar on Monday because it did not come in the package of roll bar cage that I ordered. So that I pick up on Monday morning, and then Tuesday morning all this will be cut and welded in. So I'm really excited about that. A couple other things I need to get done here. As you can see here inside the vehicle, I've got the off switch here, but I need a sticker that goes next to the off switch so they know exactly, in case emergencies, something happens to me and someone's got to come and kill the engine in a recovery moment. They know exactly that this is the kill switch, so that sticker is going to identify that. The other thing you can still see is that I don't have a fire suppression system anywhere in the car. So I'm going to get that installed as well, and so we're going to go through that. I got a couple other items that I've been waiting to install when it was appropriate. Again, this car's been pretty much streeted all this time. Now I'm going to get it closer and closer actually being a race car. And one of the other problems that I've still been dealing with here is that residue, that glue residue from when I pulled off those fake side louvers. And so I finally got the right tool to actually remove that. So I'm excited to try to use that today. And also, you know, I have a tow cable in front that's been installed, but the rear one hadn't been because that cable is too short, and so to connect to the real actual bumper on this car. So I bought a longer one. So you're going to see that as well being done here. So pretty excited for these next few weeks. Getting very close. Let's get to it. All right, so let's walk through some of the items that I have to be installed. First of all, here is a tow belt that I'm going to use for the rear. As you can tell, it's quite a bit longer, and I can actually set how long it needs to be coming off the rear bumper. And as I mentioned before, I already have the one already installed here. And on an earlier video, I had showed everybody how we actually used that in order to have the car pulled up onto a tow truck when I was having some work done on the car. And so that's been proven to work just fine. And so I'm expecting this one to do the same. It's a lot longer, so I can install it better inside the bumper of the rear, and then have the length come out the opening, the back opening, and properly be visible in case of emergencies. And then here we go, we've got the racing pedals right here that I'm going to have installed. And here's the fire suppression system that I've purchased, and the appropriate stickers that I also have to install on the outside of the car and on the inside of the car to point to where this fire suppression system is located. So inside the car, so there's two different pulls on the car, so that anywhere in the car someone gets access to me or I can get access to it. I have easy way of pulling the cable to actually set this off. And then there are, as you can see here, this allows for dual nozzles to come off of the actual extinguisher. And so you can have one, once this cable is pulled, you can have one pointing inside the cabin itself to suppress if there's a fire there, and one pointing inside the engine. So you pull either one of these cables, and both directions the fire suppression system immediately sets off and immediately extinguishes whatever's in the engine and whatever's in the cabin. So it's pretty much a foolproof setup, and obviously a very important safety mechanism when you're racing. So here is, I talked about before, inside the car there's a kill switch that I needed to have a sticker for. That's the sticker for it, so that someone can easily identify that's the right toggle to turn off the car. Over here is a really interesting contraption here. It's basically made of rubber, and this is going, you hook it up on the end of your drill, and you slowly use this in order to peel off any of the, there we go, to peel off any of the glue residue that is on the bodywork of the car. So you can see very easily, you see this line here, that line there going all the way down. It's really obvious. Of course, I will wash this portion of the car, get it super clean before I try to use this tool on it. But this is how this works, and it kind of slowly takes that stuff off. So, and one last item is I want to wrap more of this gold heat reflective tape around my intake. And so my cold air intake, really want to ensure that I'm getting the coldest air possible that's not being influenced by a hot engine after it's been running on the racetrack, 100 miles an hour, however fast we go, around the track for 15 minutes, and really ruin the effect of the cold air intake. I need that thing to be as efficient as possible. So I'm going to put some more of this tape, again heat reflective tape, around the cold air intake box. I've got it around the tube that extends from the box into the throttle body, but I'm going to put this around the box itself and try to really ensure I'm getting the coldest air possible coming into this engine. So with that, we've got some work to do, so let's hit it. Alright, so we're going to start working on taking off this glue, this residue, and I've got a microfiber towel that I'm going to use to kind of help wipe this stuff off as we have this on the drill, this removal rubber tool. And you may try to figure out which direction for this works. Well, basically it works in the direction of the angle. It looks like basically like a rubber tire almost, and so this is pointing this direction, so we want it to turn that direction. Basically we're going to use the tracks of this. We're not going to use this part, okay, to do it. We're going to use this to help pull it off, okay? And so also it helps you understand which part to use. Not this flat part, but the tracks part is inside here. They tell you, stop using once it gets down to this part of the tool. So basically you should be using the outer rim to remove whatever this residue could be. The other thing is that, and this is my mistake, I mean, it's just proven itself. I can see the difference in the paint job. Obviously this car has been in an accident. I'm going to say it again. When I took off this side louver, it became so apparent. You can see the difference in the paint job. And I didn't pick up on that when I bought this used car. And so I'm just, reminding you guys out there when you're trying to buy a used car, you can't trust the dealer. The dealer's not going, and the dealer's got to have a better eye than I do, and can see that that has been done, and then go back in the records and not see that this work was not reported on the Carfax. So they had to know this car was fishy. I paid full price in a sense for this car. None of this wreck was deducted for the value of the vehicle, and it's my mistake. It's ultimately my mistake, but without question, I was screwed. I was screwed by that dealer, and so I'm not going to mention that dealer's name, but without question, they screwed me. So you can really see the difference in the paint job here when someone came back and tried to fix this quarter panel. And remember, I had the glass in the bottom of the seat, both sides of the seats, and the spoiler back there wasn't correctly put on, and was not factory, and golly. So anyway, moving on. So let's take off the residue of this stupid job that they added here onto this car. Don't add fake stuff. Don't add it. Don't add fake stuff to your car. Alright, so let's do it slowly. I'm going to start here at the bottom first. Now work on this top portion that's obvious. And let's see what it's going to do down here first. And we'll go from there. So I'll go slowly and see if we can get some of this stuff to come off here. Okay, what is it doing here? Okay, some residue was coming off. I don't know if you can tell, but some of it was coming off, and I just wiped it off here. So I think it's working, but there's a lot of residue right through here. Alright, so what I have found, especially when you're cleaning off areas and you don't want to get a lot of soap or water spread everywhere, obviously a microfiber towel works, but also what works is using white vinegar, cleaning white vinegar. And so what I do is I get my rag damp. That's what I did when I cleaned off the side of my car when I was trying to peel off the residue of the glue that was used to put those side louvers on, those fake side louvers on. So the best thing that you can do is use something like this in a controlled environment. It dries very quickly, and then I can easily put this tape on. And it, more importantly, it really cleans. More importantly, it really cleans the area up really well. It really lifts. It actually lifts the dirt off of the area. So let's get to it. Alright, so I've completed wrapping the cold air intake, as you can see. I wrapped it with this heat reflective gold tape, and after doing during the process of it, I had to move some hoses out the way, and the vinegar wasn't doing a very good job getting all of that grime off the plastic of the cold air intake. And so I went to alcohol, using isopropyl alcohol to get more of that grime off and allow that tape to stick better to the plastic cold air intake. So I got the tape all around, as you can see, even around the back side of it, because this engine, as you can see, it is like right up against, the cold air intake is right up against that engine. And so, when you think about heat coming off this engine, it's directly affecting these cold air intakes. And that's why this is so important to try and protect that cold air as much as possible. So I finally made this step, and it looks good. It all looks good. So on to the next step. So my another test I have to complete is I need to put the toe strap on the rear of the vehicle. As you can see, I have my sticker where I want it to be, and my toe strap will be somewhere in this area hanging out the back, so it's clear in case it needs to be towed at any point for emergency purposes from the rear, where they can find the toe strap itself. So I've got the car, I'm about to get ready to jack it up, and before I do, as you know, you need to always use your chocks. So I got my chocks here ready to go, my jack is in place, ready to jack it up, and jack it up on both sides, and then use my jack stands in order to obviously hold the car up safely up in the air as I'm underneath it, drilling holes in the bumper and trying to find proper places in order to attach this strap to. So let's get to it. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to drill a hole through the outside bodywork here in the back. It's not going to affect aerodynamics, so this shouldn't be an issue with the racing club. But so I can get access to the back bumper, and then drill a hole through the back bumper, and then I'm going to bolt in the end of that toe strap. So that's my next step here. I'm going to use this tool right here in order to increase the size of the hole as I drill, and we'll go forward from there. Alright, so I ran into a snafu here, literally a snap. As you can see here, I literally snapped off the end of the drill bit as I was trying to drill through the bumper. So maybe I'm not going to be able to make this idea work this way, but it's still stuck in there, and that's never happened to me on this project yet, so we'll keep it moving. Alright, so working on drilling this hole still. I made the outside hole bigger so I can get my drill actually inside there, and then use another special bit to widen the area so I could actually go through and get the hole in. So the hole is in, and so now I need to find a proper bolt that goes all the way through the other side and can bolt this thing down, so on the other side. So that's where I'm at right now. So we're progressing.